Welcome back to my channel, Celebes. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. Simon Cowell was born on October 7th, 1959 in London, England. He grew up in a family that loved music and art. His dad, Eric, worked in the music business, and his mom, Julie, was a ballet dancer. This mix of business and art seemed to show what Simon would do later. Even though his early life didn't hint at the huge entertainment world, he would help create. Simon grew up in a place called Hertfordshire and went to different schools, but he often got into trouble with teachers and didn't like following rules. Those early years showed he was rebellious, had a restless mind, and wanted to be independent. These things would later make him famous. Before Simon became well known, his journey was really hard. After leaving school, he worked many different odd jobs, including being a runner on TV sets. Finally, through family connections and his hard work, he got a job in the mailroom at Emmy Music Publishing, where his dad worked. This job wasn't fancy at all, but it taught him how the music business worked behind the scenes. He slowly worked his way up, moving into jobs where he looked for new singers and bands. By the 1980s and 1990s, Simon had become known as someone who was really good at making deals in the British music world. He helped sign bands that became very popular, like Westlife and Five. This showed he had a special skill for knowing what people would like before they even knew it themselves. But his career really took off in the early 2000s when he started working on TV shows, bringing his music experience. It was shows like Pop Idol in the UK and American Idol in the US that made Simon Cowell go from being someone who worked behind the scenes to becoming famous all over the world. His blunt and sometimes mean comments mixed with honesty and humor became his trademark style. While some people thought he was too harsh, many people respected his honest opinions because they knew his tough comments came from really wanting to help contestants get better. Shows like The X Factor and Britain's Got Talent made him even more powerful. Through these TV shows, Simon introduced the world to superstars like One Direction, Leona Lewis, Susan Boyle, and Little Mix. This proved he wasn't just someone who criticized people. He was someone who could make stars. Outside of TV, Simon's work in the music industry is just as important. His record label has signed many best-selling artists, and his projects have made billions of dollars in sales around the world. His ability to understand what audiences want and his willingness to change with trends have kept him successful. As someone important in modern entertainment, Simon Cowell is both a disruptor and a builder. He disrupted the polite way traditional talent shows worked by insisting on honest, merit-based judging. At the same time, he built opportunities for unknown talents to go from being nobody to being famous. His name has become connected with the modern idea of finding talent on TV, and his influence continues to shape pop culture in ways that will be studied for many years to come. Simon's career has never been just about talent competitions. Over the years, he has worked on producing scripted dramas, game shows, cooking competitions, and dance programs. Each project showed his ability to sense what the public wanted and turn ideas into TV events. One of his earlier non-reality TV projects came in 2008, when he worked with a UK production company to bring to life the Away de Neef the Atus drama series Rock Right. This show was clearly inspired by Simon's own experience in the music competition industry, as it was about the behind-the-scenes drama of an X Factor type program. While Rock Rivals wasn't a direct continuation of Simon's established reality shows, it showed he was willing to try scripted TV, proving that his interest in entertainment went beyond real-world contestants and into storytelling. In 2011, Simon broadened his creative work again by developing his first-ever game show, Red or Black, for ITV. The show was hosted by the popular presenting duo Ant and Dec, who were longtime TV personalities and household names in the UK. The show was designed to be high-stakes and visually striking. Its idea was simple but tense. Contestants had to make repeated choices between red and black for the chance to win life-changing cash prizes, sometimes reaching £1 million. The first series aired in a compressed week-long run from September 3rd to 10th, 2011, creating a sense of urgency and excitement for viewers. Although it got mixed reviews from critics because it was more about luck than skill, it attracted a lot of public attention. ITV saw enough potential in the format to bring the show back for a second series in 2012. By 2013, Simon was adapting his entertainment vision to suit the fast-growing world of online media. Partnering with YouTube, he launched a global video sharing competition called the U Generation. This digital-first talent search invited people from around the world to submit videos showing unique skills and creativity, not limited to just singing or dancing. It was an ambitious attempt to tap into viral video culture and make talent discovery available to anyone with an internet connection. In the same year, Simon also expanded his TV work. He served as executive producer for Food Glorious Food, in a TV cooking competition hosted by TV presenter Carol Vorderman, where amateur chefs from across the UK competed to have their recipes published and sold in a major supermarket chain. The show mixed feel-good storytelling with the thrill of competition, though it lasted for just one series. Simon's interest in family entertainment continued in 2016 when he took on the role of executive producer for the ITV game show Keep It in the Family. This was hosted by the charismatic Bradley Walsh. The program featured multi-generational families competing in quirky challenges and answering pop culture questions with a mix of comedy, light-hearted rivalry, and unpredictable moments that aimed to appeal to a broad audience. In 2018, Simon achieved a notable career milestone when he created his very first show for the BBC, a network that was historically separate from most of his ITV work. The show was titled The Greatest Dancer and premiered on January 5th, 2019. It was a nationwide search for dance talent with contestants from many different styles. Ballet, street, contemporary, and more competed for a £50,000 prize and the opportunity to perform on Strictly Come Dancing, the BBC flagship dance competition. The format included a mirror audition stage where dancers performed in front of a closed wall that only opened if they impressed the live audience enough to secure 75% approval. This blend of theatrical suspense and emotional payoff connected well with dance fans. The program's first series performed well enough to earn a renewal with a second series scheduled for broadcast in 2020. In April 2020, during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, when traditional studio productions were stopped, Simon showed adaptability yet again by participating as a judge for Canadian Family's Got Talent, a special spin-off of Canada's Got Talent. Produced virtually by Canadian broadcaster City TV, the competition invited families from across the country to showcase their collective talents from the safety of their own homes. This digital adaptation allowed Simon to remain connected to his audience while keeping live performance alive. From 2002 to 2008, Simon Cowell was in a long-term relationship with English TV presenter Terry Seymour. Their relationship was often covered by the British tabloids, with the pair being photographed at high-profile events, luxury vacations, and glamorous red carpet appearances. Seymour, known for her work as an entertainment correspondent, often appeared by Simon's side at public occasions, and the two were regarded as one of the more stylish couples of the British entertainment scene during those years, though they eventually split up after 6 years together. The split was described as friendly, and the two stayed friends in the years that followed. Following this chapter in his personal life, Simon became engaged to Mejgan Hosseini, a well-known makeup artist who had worked behind the scenes on American Idol. The engagement, which took place in 2010, was widely reported in the media, with many seeing it as a sign that Simon, often portrayed as a committed bachelor, was ready to settle down. However, their relationship lasted just over a year, and by 2011, the engagement had been called off. Simon later spoke openly about the breakup, describing the relationship as a learning experience and implying that the timing had not been right for marriage. In 2013, Simon's romantic life made national headlines when he began dating Lauren Silverman, a New York socialite. The situation quickly became complicated because Lauren was married to Andrew Silverman, a real estate developer and close friend of Simon's. In July 2013, Andrew Silverman filed for an at-fault divorce in New York, citing adultery as the reason and naming Simon. The scandal attracted widespread attention from both American and British media outlets, sparking intense speculation and debate about the private lives of all parties involved. Just 2 weeks after the divorce filing, the situation got even more complicated when it was reported that Lauren Silverman was expecting a child with Simon. Simon addressed the matter publicly but cautiously, telling reporters, "There are a lot of things I will eventually clear up when the time is right." I really have to be sensitive, because there's a lot of people's feelings involved here. Both Andrew and Lauren Silverman issued separate statements during the divorce proceedings, emphasizing their mutual concern for the emotional well-being of their young son, Adam, who was caught in the middle of the publicized split. By August 2013, the Silvermans reached a divorce settlement out of court. This agreement not only allowed for a more private conclusion to the legal dispute, but also spared Simon from being formally called to testify as a witness in the proceedings. Shortly after the settlement, Simon confirmed publicly that Lauren Silverman was pregnant. On February 14, 2014, Valentine's Day, the couple welcomed their son, Eric, named after Simon's late father. The birth marked a major personal milestone for Simon, who often spoke about how fatherhood deeply changed his outlook on life and priorities. Over the years, he and Lauren were frequently seen together at events and on vacations with Eric, projecting the image of a close-knit family. In January 2022, after nearly 9 years together, Simon and Lauren announced their engagement, marking another significant step in their long relationship. Beyond his public romantic life, Simon has also been honest about his struggles with mental health. He has spoken openly about experiencing periods of depression, a condition that has affected him during various stages of his career. Acknowledging the pressures of fame, constant public scrutiny, and the demands of managing multiple TV projects, Simon has described the toll these factors can take on emotional well-being. To address his symptoms, he is committed to regular therapy sessions, crediting professional help with enabling him to better manage stress. When Simon Cowell, the famously sharp-tongued music mogul and reality TV judge, reached the age of 65, he found himself looking back on a career filled with extraordinary discoveries and unforgettable moments. Yet there was one story, one moment in TV history that continued to haunt and inspire him in equal measure. The day Susan Boyle first walked onto the stage of Britain's Got Talent in 2009. Over the years, audiences across the globe had wondered about what was going through Simon's mind that day. His raised eyebrows, doubtful smirk seemed to show doubt. For years, Simon kept much of his true feelings to himself, offering polite praise in interviews and focusing on Boyle's achievements rather than his personal reaction. But turning 65 seemed to unlock something deeper, a willingness to be vulnerable and admit what was really going through his head in those tense, life-changing minutes. "I judged her before she even opened her mouth," one tweet. Simon finally confessed in a rare, unfiltered interview. He spoke about the quiet shame he felt in underestimating someone based on appearance alone, admitting that his initial reaction had been doubt. I thought it was going to be a disaster," he said, shaking his head at the memory. "I couldn't have been more wrong." What followed, he recalled, was one of the most humbling experiences of his life. The moment Boyle began to sing, Simon described feeling an almost physical jolt, an electrifying surge that seemed to silence the entire theater. He watched the audience transform from chuckling disbelief to stunned awe. Their faces lit up with amazement. Simon himself felt his eyes widen and his heart race, realizing that this was not just a good performance. She didn't just sing a song, he reflected. She rewrote the narrative of that entire show and maybe even my own narrative as a judge. Simon also revealed the behind-the-scenes truth about what happened after the audition. He admitted that producers and talent scouts were instantly scrambling, realizing they had stumbled upon something historic. Boyle's audition footage spread like wildfire online, breaking records and drawing tears from millions who had never even heard of Britain's Got Talent before. "I knew from that moment that her life was going to change forever," Simon said. But what I didn't realize was that mine would change a little too. He went on to explain how Boyle's journey reminded him of the responsibility that came with his role. People watch shows like Britain's Got Talent thinking it's all about the drama, the lights, the competition, he said. But Susan reminded me it's about people. Real people with dreams, with stories, with gifts that can't be measured by first impressions. Now, more than a decade later, Simon says he still thinks about Boyle whenever he sees an unexpected contestant walk on stage. Her performance didn't just move the audience. It transformed Simon from the inside out, forcing him to confront the limits of his own perception. I'll be honest, he concluded with a smile. Susan Boyle taught me that sometimes the greatest thing you can do is simply listen and let yourself be surprised.